What's going on, everybody? This is another episode of Quarantine Queen. Today's episode is the finale of the Tennessee trip. This time we rented a cabin in the woods, and we were on Bear Alert Code Red. There were all sorts of flyers, pamphlets, brochures, warnings, all to keep the bears out and not to feed them. Bears may poop in the woods, but they also poop in our driveway. As you can see, it's pretty gross. It's right in front of a trash can, too. This is the view of the mountains. The carnage from trying to get into the driveway on this steep hill, going down into sharp turn. It's crazy. The road leading up to our cabin was absolutely bonkers. It was steep, there were potholes, it was just a hot mess. There were cliffs on either side, so if you just made one single mistake, you're going down the hill, and not the way you wanted to. Here's our cabin.
Here's where Jamie gets stuck every time he comes up the hill.
More of the cabin, and then look. Going onto this crazy steep road. I don't know if you could tell, but we are leaning. Now it is very steep going in this. Not to mention the road is very bumpy and full of potholes. Now another steep drop. And God forbid there be another car that wants to go up as soon as you're going down. So it will be SOL. I don't think this video captures just quite how steep these hills are. Pothole Central. Still haven't seen any bears yet. Oh yeah, we're coming to my favorite part.
Or somebody's went over the hill before.
Yeah. They've jerry-rigged some sticks and stones over here. Look at these. So that you don't go off the cliff.
Oh, great.
Get the fuck out of here. Oh, look what we've got down here. Road work. I don't know how they expect this to happen, but yes. So I guess we have to wait for these people to finish chipping these branches and such.
We would pick the week that they had to do road work here.
Maybe they're clearing more paths to make a wider road.
Without that.
I like that the cones are right here, as if they don't know to stop.
Right. As if, right, exactly. Sorry.
Woo. So yes, this is the hazardous road that is going up and down from our cabin.
Yeah, and we're pretty much at the main road and we can't get there.
Because they are now chipping branches that they have.
Look at this other guy. He's come up here.
And this guy wants
Yeah.
to get up. So, huh.
Hey, guys, do you think we could, get up this mountain? Yeah, it'll be just a second, sir. I've got this chainsaw and I'm gonna chop down a few more trees, so it'll be about 5 to 10 minutes. Hi, Lori.
Whenever they decide to be finished and let us through, we can keep it moving.
Maybe this is the final branch that will allow us to leave.
That thing like literally gobbles it up.
The way up to the cabin was worse than trying to go down, because the car would scream trying to get up those steep ass hills. We are turning into our little street. As you can see, it's a little cardboard sign that says Whippoorwill Lane, or Whippoorwill Hill Drive. Now we're going back up. Once again, these sketchy sticks and stones.
May break my bones if I fall up this hill.
It's gonna break more than bones. On the edges of these are just cliff where you can just roll down. This is where it's extra sketchy. This is at least a 45-degree angle. And there's a crow or something right here. And this is, whoo! It is more than a.
And we're not driving a 4x4, we are driving a Buick Verano sedan going up this hill.
Oh, there's the cabin.
It's our Redbird retreat right here. Now here is the part that we always get stuck. Because there's gravel right here because somebody thought that was a good idea.
Oh, he's gonna make it this time.
Wow.
Oh!
Wow, we actually made it.
Huh?
Usually we get stuck at that point. We decided to do a cookout. We got an obscene amount of groceries for 3 people. It was a quarantine's worth. We also went back to Dollywood, and one of my favorite things there is the Dolly Parton Museum. Check out this coat of many colors. Fuck Chick-fil-A. The chicken truck here had some of the best chicken sandwiches I've ever eaten. They were clucking good. We also rode Lightning Rod, which was one of the craziest roller coasters I've ever been on. First off, it launches you up a hill and then over a mountain, so you don't even know what's coming up next. There's all sorts of twists and turns and dives, and it just felt like we were gonna die. We were screaming at the top of our lungs, but it was an amazing time. It was one of my favorite rides. We also had to go back to Mad Dog Creamery, one of my favorite places. Another great spot is the Donut Fryer, which has one of the best puns I've ever seen. I definitely had a blast at the cabin. There were all sorts of great views and things to do. We also had to stop at the Apple Barn and Cider Mill. Now the thing with the Apple Barn and Cider Mill is they're famous for their pancakes and breakfast foods and all that. But what I remember about that place was as a kid I went there and they had birds in cages. And there was a bird cage at the top of some stairs. And an old lady was looking at these birds and got distracted and accidentally fell down the stairs and landed on our table, having our breakfast going everywhere. And all I remember was her saying, "I'll pay for it." I know it's horrible to laugh about that, but it was darkly funny. This was my first time going horseback riding. My horse was super sweet. His name was Cornbread. He was strong enough to carry my big ass through the Smoky Mountains. All the twists and turns and potholes and everything else in those mountains. And that horse held up. He was great. Coming up on the dusty trail. Now, are y'all ready for the tea? So when we did go horseback riding, there was this annoying ass girl who thought she knew every fucking thing there was to know. She was even telling us what to do. And bitch, she ain't even worked there. Everybody was rolling their eyes at her. Another thing they don't tell you is when you're going horseback riding, how much piss and shit they do while walking. It's amazing. Another thing, there was this group behind us that consisted of an old lady, a husky girl, and about an average sized girl. So, partway through the journey, the old lady decides to slap the horse. I don't know what it was doing, but she slapped it so hard, I felt it. There was no reason for her to slap that horse that hard. At the end of the trip, they all told us to stop so we could take some pictures. And the old lady, the husky girl, and the average sized girl, I guess they felt like they knew better or whatever. The husky girl was first, trying to get off that horse when they told them that they would help them get off the horse. But no, she wanted to do it herself. Guess what happened? She ended up getting stuck on the goddamn saddle. Her shirt got stuck, and then she was just hanging there like a rag doll. And then the guide person had to come over and help. By that time, her damn titties were hanging out, and I only caught a glimpse. I felt like titties were about to pop up, so I just kept my head facing forward and not looking back because they were behind us. And all I heard was the commotion. He was like, should I help you? Should I help you? Because at this point her titties were out and he didn't want to like try and touch her while her titties were hanging out. So he was like, he was doing double dutch over here like, should I help her? Should I not? Should I help her? Should I not? He ended up helping her. But if that horse had taken off with her, that would have been bad. That horse would have taken off and dragged her while her titties are hanging out, and she would have just been shit out of luck. That's what she gets for having her grandma slap that damn horse. Another thing that happened was we checked out the hot tub that was at our cabin and noticed there was all sorts of like residue and grime and everything else that was just chilling at the bottom of that hot tub. So me and Jamie were not having it. We ended up draining that entire bitch, scrubbing it out, and then refilling it. Everybody online and everything else was telling us that we were crazy for scrubbing that hot tub out. But if you had seen that hot tub, you would know that you would have scrubbed it out too. We weren't trying to get HPV or any other disease, and we were trying to stay safe. Now check that, boo. Anyways, that about wraps up the Tennessee trip for Quarantine Queen. Stay tuned for another episode tomorrow. That's how you fucking do it.